Hello and welcome to this course where I'm going to be showing you step by step how to create a photo manipulation just like what you're seeing on the screen. We're going to start with the background. We're going to insert this type of image right here, and once we've done that, we'll go ahead and insert this 4G forest. We'll go ahead and insert this cliff where the boy is going to stand on, and then we'll go ahead and insert this wolf just like this. And the next thing we're going to do is to put this boy right here, this little child. We'll go ahead and color match to blend everything together. And for that, we'll start with the background by putting the level adjustments. And again, we'll go ahead and add the hue and saturation adjustment just like this to color match everything together. Since this forest is too bright, we'll go ahead and first desaturate it a little bit and then add some level to reduce the highlights. And once we've done that, we'll come back to the cliff, and for the cliff, firstly we'll go ahead and desaturate it to color balance everything, and then add some levels to reduce the highlight. Once we have it like this, we'll go ahead and add some fog effects just like this to make it more misty. And once we've done that, for the wolf, we'll go ahead and add some level to reduce the color, and then add some curve to increase the highlight, add another curve again to increase the highlight also, and then add this level to reduce all the highlights on the design. We'll go ahead again and add this fog effect to make it more mystery. And then once we have everything like this, we'll go ahead and add some shadow to the boy. And once we've done that, we go ahead and light up this lamp right here and put some light effect to the lamp. The eyes of this wolf, we go ahead and make it more scary just like this. And once we've done that, we'll go ahead and add level adjustment to reduce the highlight of everything just like this. Since there's a light here, we need to add the light reflection into the face of this wolf, and for that we'll be using the hue saturation adjustment. Since this part right here is far away, we don't want this light to be reflecting on this part right here, and for that we're going to add level adjustment to reduce the highlight just like this. Since there's a light here, there need to be a reflection of the light right here on this part and some reflection on the face of the child. We'll go ahead and add the reflection just like this, and again to the face of this boy there is a need to add some reflection of this light. Also, we will still go ahead and use the hue and the saturation adjustment to light up his face just like this. And at the end of the day, after the color correcting and the color grading, the final result is going to look something just like this. This is going to be the final result of what we are going to be creating in this course. I hope to see you in the course, and having said this, let's get started. Hello and welcome to this video. Starting out, we are going to be choosing our canvas, the size of our canvas, and in this case we are going to be using 2000 by 2000 pixels. And once you choose it like this, I will go ahead and hit on the create button. We're going to have this canvas just like this. Firstly, I'm going to go ahead and add the background. The background is just like this. I'm going to position it in the way that it's going to fit to the canvas. Firstly, I want to go ahead and remove this part right here. We don't need this part, we only need this background right here. And for that, I will come back to the quick selection tool and just drag it to the part that we're going to need. I'm going to drag it over it. I'm going to drag it over just like this. And here, I'm going to decrease my brush size by holding down the alternative and then right click and drag to the left side just like this. And to delete some part, I'm going to hold down the Alt key again and reduce the parts just like this. We need only the background and we don't need the misty forest. Reduce this part, reduce this part. And here we can potentially add to the part, drag it and drag it like this. Here is okay. We can increase this part just like this, and again decrease it to this part. And once you have it like this, you can now press Ctrl J, Command J from your keyboard, or you can just come over to the mouse and hit on it just like this. You're going to have only this background to work with. And firstly, to be a little organized, we go ahead and rename our layer to background. Now the next thing we need to do is to add the mystery forest, and for that I will just go ahead and resize it like this. and then hit on enter from my keyboard, or just hit on this key right here. And just like we did before, I will need to go ahead and rename this forest so that I will be organized. It's very important. And what we need to do again is to resize this background just like this. You need to stretch it out. Once you've done that, I'm going to hit on the enter key, and we need to do the same thing to the mystery forest. Drag it just like this, and once you've done that, you're going to hit on enter. Now the next thing we need to do is to blend this background to this forest, and to do that, I'm going to hit on this background and come back to the layer mask. I'm going to take my brush tool, or you can just hit on B from your keyboard. You're going to have the brush tool just like this. Make sure the foreground color is black, and in order for it to work perfectly, I will need to move this background to be on top of the forest, or better still, I can come over to this forest layer right here and add a layer mask. In that way, I'll be working on the forest instead of the foreground. Okay, if I hit on the layer, still make sure your foreground color is black, and now I will just paint over it just like this. And since the color is not so powerful, I can just go ahead and increase the opacity and then erase some of the parts just like this. We need to blend it to the background, and this line, to remove this line, you will need to increase the opacity again just like this so that the line can be removed. We're going to brush over it just like this, and now I can decrease the opacity a little bit and still go ahead and color over it just like, just to blend the forest to the background just like this. You can hit on view. It's like I'll erase everything, and now I can stretch it up again just like this, and then hit on the good sign. The next thing we can possibly do is to go ahead and add the cliff, and for that I will drag my cliff over it just like this and hit on the good sign, and the cliff need to be above other layer just like we did before. I will go ahead and select the quick selection tool because we need only the cliff and not the ocean, not the river. Just go over it like this, select only the cliff just like this. You can increase the size, hold it down the Alt key and then right click and drag to the right side. Okay, just do it just like this. Here it's okay. I can decrease the size again to remove the water side just like this. So you have it this way, come over to the layer mask and hit on the layer mask. You're going to have it just like this. Now we need to go ahead and also blend it to this background. Okay, and to do that, select the brush tool, or you can just hit on B from your keyboard. Since the layer is selected already, come back to the foreground color and make it to be black, and now you can go ahead and blend it to this background just like this. It's like the opacity of the brush is too low. I will need to go ahead and increase the opacity to like 50% just like this. Okay, and paint over the background, paint over the edges to blend everything together just like this. Okay, just like I can go ahead again and increase the opacity to like 71%, and again paint over it just like this. Now this is better. You just paint over it like this, and these edges also, the sharp edges, we don't need it on our design. Okay, just paint over the edges like this until there are no sharp side. Okay, blend it to the background just like this. Now the sharp edges are no more. Okay, just like this. Now we have the three main elements that is going to represent our background. What I need to do is to rename this also so that I will be organized with my work. I'm going to name it Cliff. Now what we need to do is to color balance everything. Firstly, I will go with the background by selecting the background, and then I will come over to the adjustment layer. Now I want to first go over to the hue and saturation. I'm going to go ahead and clip it to the background so that it will be affecting only the background. And firstly, I want to reduce the saturation just like this, okay? And like this is already okay. I can still go ahead and reduce it a little bit. And once you've done that, I will still go ahead to the adjustment layer again and choose curve or level adjustment. Let me just use level adjustments in this case. I will still go ahead and clip it to the background. And now I want to reduce some of the highlights on the background just like this, so that it will match a little bit to the foggy forest just like this. And the same thing will happen to this cliff right here. I will select this cliff and come over to the adjustment layer and select the hue and saturation adjustment. Firstly, I still need to desaturate it because like this is too saturated. Okay, once we have it like this, I might as well reduce the color, the hue to be in this part, and as well reduce the lightness. It's like I forgot to clip it to the cliff. Yes, now it's okay. Reduce the saturation just like this. And what we can possibly do again is to go to the adjustment layer and add the level adjustment. And this time I will not forget to clip it to the clip and reduce some of the highlights just like this. And the same thing will happen to the foggy forest. I will go back to the foggy forest, come over to the level adjustment like this, and first clip it to the forest and then reduce some of the highlights just like this. Okay, reduce the highlight, and then I can go ahead and add another adjustment again, hue and saturation adjustment, clip it to the forest. Now I want to find the color that can match the background and the cliff a little bit. Okay, it's like the color is right here. This is the point, and I can reduce the saturation at that point. Okay, just like this. Now the color is matching up, and can reduce the lightness also just like this. Now the color is matching up. This is the result we want to achieve. Okay, this type of color right here. Now the background of our art is little bit okay, not fully okay, but we can work with this already. Now what we can do is to go ahead and bring out our main character, which happen to be the wolf, just like this. And I'm gonna go ahead, hit on enter. Okay, rename it so that I can be organized. Convert it to smart objects just to be sure. And now I want to go ahead by holding down the shift key and resize this wolf just like this. I already converted this layer to smart object, and I believe we are not going to be losing more details, and increase it like this. But now for me to be able to capture everything, I will first hit on the enter key and then press Z from my keyboard to change the size of my canvas so that I can be seeing this wolf very well. Hit on Ctrl V again to have the move tool, and now I can resize the wolf just like this. Okay, and now hit on enter, Ctrl+0 to have my screen pop up like this again. What I'm going to do right now is to select this wolf in question, but firstly, it's like the canvas is too big. I will still go ahead again, right click and come over to where it says convert to smart objects. Okay, and now I can come over to the selection tool and pick the object selection tool. Once it shows like this, I can just go ahead and draw a rectangle over the wolf just like this, and wait a little bit for Photoshop to do their work. And once it's selected, you can check the part that it didn't select well so that you can do it yourself. But in this case, it's like it did a great job. And for that, I will just convert to the layer mask and hit on the layer mask. Now it's a little bit okay, even if it's not perfect. Select the move tool, and now we can still go ahead again and increase the size of this wolf. because we need to make it very big. And we need to go ahead and convert it to smart object just like this, so that the transform control will be so small. And now holding down the shift key, we can increase the size just like this. And then hit on enter. Now we can position it in a way that it will be close to the cliff, where it's going to be close to the boil, just like this. This position is okay. You can even decrease the size if you want to. There's no rules in doing this. Now we need to go ahead and add level adjustment or curve. Well, in this case, I'm going to be using the level adjustment. Remember to clip it to the wolf and decrease the highlights just like this. Okay, decrease the highlights just like this. Like this is okay. It's okay like this. And since we have all of this, what we need to do right now is to create a new layer, and we want to add some effect right here, the misty effect. We want to add it to this part right here and to the part of the wolf. I'm going to hit on B from my keyboard to have the brush tool, and make sure you toggle over this to go over to the default. And now I want to go over and select white as your foreground color. But what you need to do, you need to select the same misty color right here, so that you will not be contemplating the color of our element. And to do that, I want to hit on this color right here and come over to this part and toggle over to this part right here, or even to this part, just like this. Once you have it this way, you want to hit on OK. And now I want to paint over this part, but I would like to make my brush to be very big. That way it's going to give us a uniform effect. I want to make it very big like this. And now you can paint over it just like this. We need to add some misty effect just like this, and to some part of the wolf. Let's go ahead and add some misty effect like this. Okay, it's good like this. Even to this part, add some misty effects just like this. And you can always check this part right here to see it, to see how you are progressing with your work. Like this already okay. This is it for this video, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to continue from where we stopped, and this time around we're going to go ahead and add the child in question. I'm going to have it like this and hit on the good sign. Firstly, I want to go ahead and rename this child, okay, so that I will be organized. This lost child that is searching for something, but on his way, he lost to the forest. He lost to this forest, and then there was this wolf that was approaching. That is the main concept of this piece of art right here. And what I'm going to do is to first decrease the opacity so that I will be seeing the cliff very well. Or better still, you can forget about the opacity first and increase this size. Make sure it's smart object. If you are not sure, you can always convert to smart object so that you will not lose quality when you are resizing your image. Firstly, I'm going to resize it just like this, and now hit on enter. I want to go ahead and select the object select tool and draw a rectangle over it just like this. Wait a little bit for Photoshop to do everything, and if there is any part you don't like, you can always erase that part. And come over here again and select the quick selection tool to erase some of the parts that you wish it was erased. And now this selection, I need to refine it a little bit. First, I need to add the plus sign to this side, even if it's not going to be perfect. And now reduce this size to this point. Okay, here is still the hand, and we can decrease the size again just like this, and as well remove this side and add the plus sign to this lamp right like this. Okay, and as well make it to fit like this. And this part you need to add the plus sign as well, and this part we can erase some of the parts like this and increase some of these parts just like this. Okay, at least from now, like this. Okay, at least for now it's okay. Now I will need to go ahead and hit on the layer mask. I'm going to have it like this. The next thing you can possibly do is to double click on this layer mask so that you will be on this panel right here. And now I will need to increase the size of this template, the size of this image, so that I can be seeing what I'm doing very well. You can select this brush tool right here and decrease the size like this. You just need to select this, and now I need to erase some of this part just like this. Okay. Okay, I'll do it like this, and as well this part, the same part right here. And as well this little part right here. Okay, it's not perfect, but we can work with this, and I can go add to this part first. Okay, go add to this part just like this. Okay, it's not perfect, but we can work with this. I'll come back to the OK button and hit on the OK. Now we need to position this boy on top of this cliff. Decrease the size of my canvas to see the transform tool, and now reduce the size of this lost child. Like searching for something, and all of a sudden there is a wolf. Wow. I'm going to position it like this, still reduce the size. Okay, and now it's okay, just like this. Hit on this space, it's going to enter the image. But it's like there's a part here that doesn't make sense, and I can always return to this panel. Selecting the brush tool, I can paint. First, increase the size of the canvas, and then selecting the brush tool, I can paint over it just like this. Okay, and remove the brush. The brush tool wasn't selected. Now selecting the brush tool, erase this part just like this, and then come over here and hit on OK. I'm gonna have it like this. Hit on Z and decrease the size of my template. Okay, Ctrl 0. Now the next thing we can potentially do is to first reduce the color of this boy to make it color match to this environment, to this scenario. I'm going to see you in the next video, and we'll continue from where we stop. Hello guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to continue from where we stop. Now, the next thing we need to do, we need to color match this boy to the environment, to this scenario. And for that, we need to first select this boy and come back to the adjustment layer and choose the hue saturation. Always remember to clip it to the layer in question. And now I want to desaturate this boy a little bit, this lost child. Okay, and even the highlights, I need to decrease it. Just like this. Okay, desaturate a little bit again. And now this okay. The next thing I can potentially do is to decrease the highlights of the whole design, and I'll just go ahead and add the levels again. This time around, I'm not going to clip it. I will reduce the highlight just like this. reduce it to this side just like this. And the next thing we can potentially do is to go ahead again and add some fog effects. Create a new layer, hit on B from your keyboard and just add some foggy effect right here. Ctrl 0, add some foggy effect just like this, and I can decrease the size of my template, and now hit on view so that you'll be seeing what you are doing. Just like this, just like this. This foggy effects to this part, into this part, okay, into this part and to this part as well, okay, to make everything to be very foggy like this. Okay, and now hit on Ctrl 0 to have the full screen. Yeah, like this is okay. And right now our element composition is okay. This is the way we're going to need it. This way it's going to be, and this is it for this video. I'm going to see you in the next video and we're going to continue from where we stop. Hello guys, and welcome to this video. In this video we are going to be adding the effects, and firstly we are going to start with this wheel. This lamp right here, we need to light it up, and we need to go ahead and rename that layer to be fog, okay, to be organized. Now add a new layer, and this time around I'm going to name this to be lamp. Select your brush tool, okay, decrease the size, still decrease the size just like this, decrease the size. Okay, like this is going to be okay, the way it's going to fit here. And you want to come over to the color, select white and choose yellow, okay, very bright yellow just like this, and hit on OK. Now what I will need to do is to increase the flow and increase the opacity to make everything to be 100 and 100. And now I want to click on this side right here just like this, okay. If it's like this, the next thing I can potentially do is to take my selection tool, so take my move tool, and to this layer I want to double click on it to show me the layer style. And now I want to come over to the afterglow, okay, hit on the afterglow and work with these settings right here. I'm going to increase the spread. It's going to make it like this. It's already okay like this. The size is already okay. Just work only with the outer layer. You're going to have the light lamp right here like this, and hit on OK. And again we need to create another layer so that we will give these wolves some scary eyeballs. Come back to the new layer, hit on the new layer, and here you can just name it eyes. And still with the yellow color, you really need to increase the size of your canvas, okay. And now select your brush tool, decrease the size, still decrease the size, still small like this, okay. And you want to click on the eyeball just once like this, and come over to this part and click just once. If you are not convinced, you can always increase the size of your brush again, okay, like this, and hit on the eye, and come over to the second one and hit on the eye. Ctrl 0, the eye is going to be just like this. And the next thing we need to do, since there is light here, we will need a reflection of this light on the floor, on the face, and on the face of the wolf. So we're going to create 3 lights. I will see you in the other video, and then we're going to continue. Hello guys, and welcome to this video. Just like what I said before, we're going to be creating 3 lights on the floor, on the face of the boy, and on the face of the wolf. Firstly, we need to come over to the adjustment layer. Come over to the adjustment layer and select the hue and saturation. Once you have the hue and saturation, you want to hit on colorize. Okay, hitting on the colorize, we want color that is going to match the light lamp. Increase the saturation to make the color more vibrant, like this. Okay, and like this. Okay. Now once we have our color like this, click on this mask and press Ctrl or Command I from your keyboard to invert the color. Now this black mask right here is yellow. Anything we touch here is going to be yellow. I want to take my brush tool, increase the size of this brush, and remember to select white as your foreground color. And now I want to paint over this part right here to create this reflection of this boy, just like this. This color is a bit too much. Decrease the opacity a little bit and the flow as well, and color over the ground like this, just like this. By selecting the black color, we can just, and as well decrease the flow. We can just remove some of the color that is not needed. Okay, some of the parts that are not needed. Just like this. And as well, we're going to create another light effect again that is going to light up the face of this boy, just like what we did here. Hit on, come over to the adjustment and select hue and saturation. No need of clipping this time around, and hit on colorize. Make this to be somewhere between this yellow and green, like this, and increase the saturation to have that more vibrant color. We don't need the color to be like this. And clicking on the mask, hit on Ctrl or Command I to invert the color as well. You just need to make sure the foreground color is white, very important, and you need to click on the face of the boy just some couple of times, just like this. Okay, so a couple of times, just like this. And now we also need this reflection of this light on the face of this wolf, and for that we still need to go ahead again and add, no need of color. Come over to this adjustment again and add the hue and saturation, just like what we did before. Hit on colorize is very important. Okay, come back to this yellow part, increase the saturation like this. Okay, clicking on this, I want to hit on Ctrl I, and this time around I can decrease the opacity, and the flow is already decreased, and you can just paint over this dog right here, just like this. Okay, you can just paint over the dog like this, and erase some parts that might not be needed. Okay, some part that might not be needed, just like this. Nice. Okay, and what we can possibly do, since this part right here of this wolf is far away, we don't need the reflection of our light to be touching that part. And what we need to do is to come over to this wolf, select the wolf. Okay, but that is not the wolf. We need to select the wolf, that is the fog. This is the wolf right here. Select this wolf, and now we need to go ahead and add level adjustments layer. And remember, this time around we need to clip it to the wolf. And once we have it clipped, this time around we will reduce the highlights of the wolf. No, there is something wrong. I need to clip it to the, just like this. it was not clear before. Yeah, now it's affecting only the wolf. We need to decrease the light like this and select this mask and hit on Ctrl I. Okay, we need to invert the color. Now select your brush tool by hitting on B and select the mask. This time around the foreground color should be white because we need to paint some contrast to this part right here. And now you just need to paint over it like this. It's only affecting the part of the wolf and not the boy, because we don't want that part to be very vivid because it's far away. The wolf is big. Just like this. Okay, and the next thing we can potentially do is to hit on V again, select this ball in question, select this child and hit on Ctrl J to duplicate the child. Once you have the copy of the child, what you need to do is to hit on Ctrl T, and from the Ctrl T you can just go ahead and right click and come back to where it says flipped vertical, drag it down. This time around we just need to create some shadow of this boy, the lost child that was searching for maybe his parents, and then all of a sudden there was this wolf that appeared. Wow, what a scary story. This wolf that appeared and the boy was not even afraid. He was not even afraid, but he never knew the danger that awaits. Just decrease the size like this. Make it to be in this part. Okay, and you can just come over to the same copy again and double click on the copy and come over to where it says color overlay and choose black as your color and hit on OK. The next thing you can do is to just decrease the opacity. Decrease the opacity very well. Do something like this. Okay, now it's coming out live with the effects and the light is coming out live. And this is it for this video. I'm going to see you in the next video and we're going to continue from where we stop. Hi guys and welcome to this video. Now that we have our representation like this, our piece of art, a lost boy searching for his parent, and all of a sudden there was this wolf that appeared. But the boy at first wasn't afraid because he never knew the danger that awaited him. This is just the little story behind this piece of art right here. Any photo you manipulate, any piece of art that you create, there must always be a short story behind it. In that way, the context will be relatable. Now that we have it like this, the next thing we need to do is to go ahead and color grade our piece of art. But I'm not satisfied with this light right here. I can just hit on the mask again, select my brush tool and choose black as my foreground color. This time around, let me decrease this flow to be like 20, and I want to reduce some of the parts. I want to fade some of the parts like this. Yeah, I don't want that sharp edge parts. Okay, now I'm okay with this light and this part as well. Okay, hit on 0, zoom out. Yeah, I like it this way. Now it's okay. Ctrl 0 again to bring everything forward to life. Now it's okay like this. And what we need to do is to select the first layer, hit on Ctrl Shift Alternative, then you're going to press U. It's going to be in a single layer just like this. Everything we created here appear in a single layer. Firstly, I want to right click and come over to where it says convert to smart object. It's very important. And now I want to go over to filter and come over to camera raw filter. We need to color correct and color grade our work. I always like to see my before and after, so by that I will just go ahead and hit on this cycle between before and after button. Firstly, we want to start with the light. There is no rules to this. You can choose to follow your parameters or anything you feel good in your eye. Okay, there's no rules that is going to guide you with this. Just follow everything. Follow your eye. Okay, some of the shadow like this. The shadow is not needed in these skills, and this contrast seems too much. I don't need sharp color. Now the white is not needed as well. Okay, and the black, yeah, that is needed a little bit. Now come over to the color and increase some of the saturation. Okay, increase some saturation like this. And now I want to come out to the effect, texture like this, and then increase the clarity to this point. And the vignette, I always like some vignette. Okay, like this. We don't need gray, we don't need curve. And to the color as well, you can decide to make it more like this color. Okay, you can decide to choose this color, this white balance instead of this. In any way you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, but I prefer this color to this. I prefer this color. You can work with this. I'm going to leave you all this material that you can potentially use to recreate something like this. And now come over to the effect. We've touched on the effect already. Come over to the details. For the details, I just need to increase the sharpening just like this. This is the before and this is the after. I prefer this, but if you prefer this, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're wrong. And if you prefer this, it's okay. It doesn't mean this is wrong as well. And if I have everything like this, I'll just go ahead and hit on OK. This is what we just created, guys. And by zooming out, we're going to see it like this. A lost boy in the forest, searching for his parents, maybe. But at the end of the day, there was a wolf, a very big wolf coming out. The boy wasn't afraid because he never knew the danger that awaited him. That's just the story behind this little piece of art right here. I hope you enjoyed the class, guys, and I hope after watching this video, if you're just starting out as a beginner with the material that I'm going to leave you, you should go out there and recreate the same thing. But if you are a pro already, it's okay. You can still practice. Nobody's perfect. Okay? Nobody's perfect. And this is the end of our creation. I wish you well. I wish you success in your life and in your journey as a graphic designer or digital artist, whatever it is. I wish you well. And having said all of this, we're going to call it a day. Cheers. Peace out. And this is the end of this class. I'm going to leave you all this material right here, all this material that we use in creating this art so that you too can create something just like this. Okay, and your color must be different from this. And once you create your project, don't forget to submit your project. I would like to see it, and I can't even wait to see your project. And having said all of this, I'm going to call it a day. Cheers. Peace out.